Hello everyone. Now, from the preface of the picture of Dorian Gray to the last chapter in which Dorian decides to destroy the picture being the only evidence, l'unica prova, the only evidence of his double life. Dorian is still young and handsome, and instead the picture has become old and ugly and has carried all the marks and wrinkles and lines of his getting older and of his vices. The portrait has become absolutely ugly. So the fact that Dorian also killed the painter Basil Hallward, because the painter knew the secret and he didn't want anyone to know about it. The same thing as he killed Basil Hallward, he wants to destroy the picture being an evidence of what is behind his respectable personality, his facade of respectability. Dorian's death. The following passage is from the final chapter of the novel, when the story reaches its climax with Dorian's dreadful metamorphosis. The dreadful metamorphosis is that when he stabs the picture, pugnala il quadro, he kills himself. The picture returns to be young and handsome, and he himself becomes old and ugly. His servants hardly recognize him, and they only recognize him thanks to his rings. It was a lovely night, so warm that he threw his coat over his arm and did not even put his silk scarf, quindi faceva così caldo, che non mise il suo foulard di seta round his throat, intorno alla gola. As he strolled home, come si incamminava verso casa, smoking his cigarette, 2 young men in evening dress passed him, 2 giovani vestiti da sera, passarono accanto a lui. He heard one of them whisper to the other, sentì uno mormorare all'altro, "That is Dorian Gray." He remembered how pleased he used to be, si ricordava quanto gli facesse piacere, when he was pointed out, quando lo puntavano col dito, or stared at, o se lo fissavano, or talked about, o se parlavano di lui. He was tired of hearing his own name now, era stanco di sentire il suo nome ora. Half the charm of the little village where he had been so often lately was that no one knew who he was, quindi metà del fatto gradevole del piccolo paesino dove era stato molto spesso ultimamente, e che nessuno sapeva lui chi fosse. He had often told the girl whom he had lured to love him, la ragazza che aveva indotto ad amarlo, that he was poor, che era povero, and she had believed him, e lei aveva creduto. Of course it is a lie, it's quite negative. He had told her once that he was wicked, una volta le aveva detto che lui era malvagio, and she had laughed at him and answered that wicked people were always very old and very ugly. Gli aveva risposto che le persone malvagie erano sempre vecchie e molto brutte. What a laugh she had, quanto aveva riso. Just like a thrush singing, proprio come un tordo che cantava. And how pretty she had been in her cotton dress, quanto era carina nel suo abito di cotone, and her large hats e I suoi grandi cappelli. She knew nothing, non sapeva niente, but she had everything that he had lost. Ma lei aveva tutto ciò che lui aveva perso. When he reached home, he found his servant waiting for him. He sent him to bed, quindi mandò il suo domestico a dormire, and threw himself down on the sofa in the library, quindi si buttò sul sofà nella biblioteca, and began to think over some of the things that Lord Henry had said to him. Iniziò a pensare ad alcune delle cose che Lord Henry gli aveva detto. Remember that Lord Henry was his model. It was Lord Henry that taught him to live in the way he lived. Was it really true that one could never change? Era vero che nessuno poteva cambiare. He felt a wild longing, quindi sentiva un vivace desiderio, for the unstained purity, per la purità, la purezza senza macchie of his boyhood, di quando era ragazzo. His rose white boyhood, quindi quando era ragazzo come bianco come una rosa, as Lord Henry had once called it, come Lord Henry l'aveva una volta definito. He knew that he had tarnished himself, sapeva che si era macchiato, filled his mind with corruption, aveva riempito la sua mente di corruzione, and given horror to his fancy, e aveva dato orrore alla sua immaginazione. That he had been an evil influence to others, che aveva avuto una cattiva influenza sugli altri, and had experienced a terrible joy in being so, e aveva sperimentato una gioia malvagia essendo in quel modo, and that of the lives that had crossed his own, e delle vite che avevano incrociato la sua, it had been the fairest and the most full of promise, era stata la più bella e quella più piena di promesse, that he had brought to shame, che aveva portato verso la vergogna. That is to say that he had deeply corrupted this person. But was it all irretrievable? Ma tutto ciò era irrecuperabile? Was there no hope for him? Non c'era speranza per lui? Ah, in what a monstrous moment of pride and passion, in quale momento mostruoso di orgoglio e passione. He had prayed that the portrait, aveva pregato che il ritratto, should bear the burden of his days, dovrebbe portare il fardello dei suoi giorni, dovrebbe portare tutte le sue cose che lui, tutte le brutture che voleva nascondere. And he kept the unsullied splendor of eternal youth, e lui conservava lo splendore intatto dell'eterna giovinezza. All his failure had been due to that. Tutto il suo fallimento era dovuto a quello. Better for him that each sin of his life had brought its sure, swift penalty along with it. Sarebbe stato meglio per lui che ogni peccato, each sin, della sua vita avesse portato la sua penalizzazione sicura e veloce con sé. There was purification in punishment. Nella punizione c'era la purificazione. Not forgive us our sins, non perdonate i nostri peccati, but smite us for our iniquities, ma puniteci per le nostre colpe. Should be the prayer of a man, dovrebbe essere la preghiera di un uomo, to a most just God, verso un Dio molto giusto. The curiously carved mirror, quindi lo specchio con strane incisioni, that Lord Henry had given to him so many years ago, tanti anni fa, now was standing on the table, era lì sul tavolo, and the white-limbed cupids, quindi i cupidi con le braccia, le gambe bianche, laughed round it as of old, quindi ridevano intorno a questo specchio come un tempo. He took it up, quindi prese lo specchio, as he had done on that night of horror, come aveva fatto durante quella notte dell'orrore, sarebbe quando aveva ucciso Basil Hallward, when he had first noted the change, quando aveva prima notato il cambiamento in the fatal picture, nell'immagine fatale, and with wild, tear-dimmed eyes, e con gli occhi selvaggi e oscurati dalle lacrime, looked into its polished shield, quindi guardò dentro al suo fodero praticamente lucido. Once someone who had terribly loved him had written to him a mad letter. Una volta qualcuno che era stato tremendamente innamorato di lui gli aveva scritto una lettera pazza, ending with these idolatrous words, finendo la lettera con queste lettere idolatre, queste parole idolatre. The world is changed because you are made of ivory and gold. Il mondo è cambiato perché sei fatto di avorio e d'oro. The curves of your lips rewrite history. Le curve delle tue labbra riscrivono la storia. The phrases came back to his memory. Queste frasi ritornarono alla sua memoria. And he repeated them over and over to himself, e se le ripeteva tante volte a se stesso. Then he loathed his own beauty, poi detestava la sua propria bellezza, and flinging the mirror on the floor, e buttando lo specchio a terra, crushed it into silver splinters, lo ridusse in schegge d'argento beneath his heel, al di sotto del suo tacco. It was his beauty that had ruined him. Era la sua bellezza che lo aveva rovinato. His beauty and the youth he had prayed for. La sua bellezza e la giovinezza che lui aveva supplicato di avere. But for those two things, ma per quelle due cose, his life might have been free from stain. La sua vita poteva essere stata libera da ogni macchia. His beauty had been to him but a mask. La sua bellezza era soltanto stata una maschera per lui. His youth but a mockery. La sua giovinezza soltanto una presa in giro. What was youth at best? Che cos'era la gioventù al suo meglio? A green, an unripe time, un periodo verde, poco maturo, a time of shallow moods, un tempo di stati d'animo superficiali, and sickly thoughts, e di pensieri malati. Why had he worn its livery? Perché aveva indossato la sua livrea? Youth had spoilt him. La gioventù lo aveva rovinato. Quindi si rende conto che questo, assaporare la vita soltanto per le bellezze e le cose gradevoli che possa offrire, e naturalmente senza pensare se queste cose siano buone o malvagie, che siano positive o corrotte, quindi lo ha reso quello che è in questo momento. Quindi comincia a dubitare proprio di ciò che lui credeva e che noi abbiamo visto nella prefazione del libro. E quindi bisogna distruggere il ritratto per distruggere qualsiasi cosa che la gente possa scorgere di questo suo lato oscuro. Ok, goodbye.